our party's internal matters. Honorable Ato has spoken extensively about the Bouquet report. So I'm not going to repeat that one. I'm going to repeat General Mosquito's report. You see, one of the biggest problems that we have been grappling with, I don't know whether we can call it as one of the reasons why we lost the elections, but it has been endemic in the party, and it's something that we have to fight against and eliminate if we want to move forward with a very strong and formidable party that is ready for battle anytime. It is about our attitude when we win elections within the party and our attitude when we lose elections within the party. It is something that is eating us up right from 2001. In fact, before 2000, it contributed significantly to our defeat in 2000. When we managed to come to power in 2008, it wasn't very visible. Then as we made progress, power entered into our heads, and everybody then forgot about the fact that if we don't unite, we cannot sustain power. When we lose power and we are being maltreated, it reminds us that we are each other's keeper. It is at that time that we begin to talk about coming together. I think that we need to work at that one so that it can improve our chances of winning power. And even when we are in government, we should learn never to come back on that one. Otherwise, we will be facing this problem of uniting and winning elections. Once we are in power, we will be fighting and struggling, and then suddenly we forget how to retain power, and then we are working with a rude shock of finding ourselves in opposition. Why are we fighting against each other? What are we looking for? Are we fighting because we think we have to lose power? The thing you are fighting about, if you lose it, then you are all united now. Now you go and fight for it. When you get it, then you begin fighting, and so on and so on. Please, there is freedom of association guaranteed by our constitution. But one thing we must learn is that if you want to associate or form any group, you need to yield part of your independence. There is no way you can be like, hey, what's happening? My niece, what do you want here?
I heard my English in time. Please.
Okay, find a seat for ahead. That's Honorable Louisa Hannah, or is it the Hannah first?
Anyhow, Miss.
Okay. Honorable Hannah Louisa Bisiu, Doctor and comrade. She is Cuban trained, so she likes comrade more than the honorables and the other thing. Okay. She is the immediate past MP for Kano South. That's Beijing, the nketia area. She lost by a very small margin. We'll talk about it later. So you see, once you want to belong to any society, there is no way you can maintain all your freedoms If you want to have the freedom to do everything, then you cannot live in a society. You have to go and live somewhere in isolation, so that when you get up and you want, whatever you want to do, you have the freedom to do it. But because we cannot survive when we are there, we need each other. And our likes and dislikes are different from each other. But we think that coming together will benefit us. So when we come together, it means that I must yield some of my freedoms, you must yield some of your freedoms before we can belong to an organization. And then we agree on common laws and principles which will govern that relationship. So once you belong to that society, and you still think that you don't want to go by the common laws and principles, but you still want to retain all your freedoms, it means that you cannot belong to that society. If you leave, you will gain all your freedoms, but what you will lose will be the synergy that you will gain when you belong to an organization, a common brotherly assistance. You support somebody, somebody supports you. So please, that is how you form a political party. Once you are in NDC, you are no longer having all your independence. You have yielded part of your independence to the party, and that finds itself expressed in the party's constitution and the party's rules and procedures. If you grasp this thing firmly, there will be no fighting anywhere in any NDC branch. But very often, we want to eat our cakes and still have it. And that is the cause of all these problems. And we must also understand that when you are in an organization, you are not more important than any other member of the organization. So when you go into elections, prepare yourself first to lose before you prepare yourself to win. If you don't have that attitude and you think that you must always be the winner, when you win, everybody must serve you. But when you lose, you are not prepared to serve anybody. And you cannot belong to that organization which is democratic. So that is where all of us find ourselves going wrong once in a while. If we grasp these principles, there will be no point fighting. Go to NDC in Ghana. Everybody was worried about splinter organizations, which is for Semester Mensah, Virgins for Kofi Addo, for Mahama. Have you ever heard friends of Asiedu nketia before anyway? Because if you try it, I will crash it. If you isolate yourselves as my friends, what happens to the others? Are they my enemies? But these organizations spring up because somebody loses election somewhere and decides that I'm not going to work under those who have won. Then he gets out there, get to Accra, he gets some listening ear. That, oh, he's not going to complain about the elections at all. He's just going, oh, I think the party structures are weak. So if we can get some resources, we can go around and organize some women traders or some youth group, and then it will support the campaign. And they say, oh, take a car or take motorbikes, get a party paraphernalia. So name the organization, then you are there. If you contest elections and win, it means everybody has put in their faith in you. The whole party says that you should be the leader. And then the person you defeat, you who has won, you don't have a car, you don't have a motorbike, you don't have party paraphernalia to distribute to the branches that you supervise. And then somebody gets to Accra and some businessman says, oh, I'm going to form ABC. They say, oh, okay, take t-shirts, take this thing. And then the next day they see you in the same town where you contested and lost. And you are going around in a vehicle with things to distribute. Those who voted for you, will they continue supporting you? Because it becomes more beneficial to lose elections than to win to be in leadership there. So it will affect the morale of the people who elected you. It will affect your own morale. Say, why did I win at all? If I had lost, I could have also formed some pastors for Bahama or Asiedu, Nketia or Kofiato, and somebody would have given me something. You understand? So, please, when I came here and I heard that there are 2 chapters of NDC in North America, I said, what is happening? You go to New York, there are 2 branch executives, branch, whatever, what is happening? And when you ask, it's all about elections, results, acceptance, or rejection. Please, it is not telling any good story about us. It is not doing us any good. When we lost to Nanado, did you hear us forming a parallel government in Accra? That is the government. Whether they won through legitimate means or they rigged, the law says that that is the government. They've been given the power. You can't go and form another parallel government. If you do that, you think that you are satisfying your followers. But you end up blowing up our democracy. Because you divide the country, and then you have a government, and then you have some contra rebels somewhere, and very soon they pick arms, and then the country you want to govern is destroyed, it's in flames. So who wins? Nobody. So if we think that by insisting that we are rejecting election results within NDC, and by so doing, that is how we can demonstrate our support for NDC, you are lying. You are bringing the party down. And it's not going to help you. It's not going to help the party. It's not going to help anybody. So I beg you, fortunately, we've come to the end of the tenure of the existing executives. And I'm happy to have listened to this communique that you have issued. Let's put the past behind us and then move forward. But in moving forward, this committee you have formed, they will by all means organize elections. Some people will win, some will lose. Is it going to be the case that after this committee organizes elections, whoever wins will also go and form another chapter? If that is what is going to happen, then you are wasting your time here. Don't spend time buying air tickets, flying from your various states for any meeting, because that meeting will not produce anything. So if we want to be, everybody has problems, but you swallow the problem and make sure that the common good is achieved. The interest of the larger interest is It's a chief. That is how you live in society. So I beg you, please, for once, let us, after we have left, let us forget about everything, mobilize strongly, and let's hear about North America chapter, USA chapter. We split it into Canada and so on. Let us hear about you, and let's hear good news about you.
Amen.
It's always distressing when all the news you hear, this man has done this, that man has done this, that man has done this. It will help us. And please, if anybody is coming here from party national head office and is coming in the name of the party, we know. Don't be deceived by just, I know there are some of you just identify one person in head office. Every Ghanaian wants to travel, every Ghanaian wants to come to US. So you just get some letterhead and then write that we want to invite so then you direct it to one person. He gets up, never tells the rest of us where he's going. Then he comes here, organize a few people, goes back, and then we say we have legitimacy. Accra has recognized us. That is not how the party is run. You have copies of our constitution. Look at the constitution, and you see how the party is run. We run the party through structures. It is not through individuals' whims and caprices. Some of the people who come here to address you, for about 6 months, they will not step in party national executive meetings. So please, if anybody comes here and you want to cross-check, there are several means of communicating to us to find out that, yes, this person has the legitimacy to come and talk to you about decisions from head office. You can always find out. At least you have the Director of International Relations. You have the Director of Administration. You can call and find out, has the party sent somebody out, and what is he going to do? And you will not allow yourself to be, made like a laughing stock. I beg you, I excuse my words. So let us look at. And I'll suggest that you must find a way of printing your letterheads and making sure that they are controlled. It is something that you have to look at, because this day and age, your letterhead can be misused to bring trouble to you. It's very, very important. Number two, there are people. We have some of our elders here. We've met them, several times and so on. All their youth, they've been doing NDC. But all of us are growing. And it is at times important, and the party has structures to take care of the old and experienced people. That's why we have Council of Elders. Anytime I decide not to be a General Secretary again, I'll become a member of the Council of Elders. You understand? Then younger people will take over. Okay. Then when they are going wrong, I can sit there and say, you don't know what happened in 92. You don't know what happened in 96. Don't do it this way, don't do it that way, do it this way. That is why the Constitution has made provision for Council of Elders. So you are all struggling because if I lose the chairmanship now, I'm irrelevant. I don't have anything to do. You see? So the same chairman who want to remain there. There's nothing wrong if the people want you as chairman. But where they want to vote for somebody else, you have a better role. That is a senior member, and you find yourself in Council of Elders. So the new executives, wherever they are going wrong, you call them and caution them and direct them. So I have identified that one of the causes of the problem, and it is not about North America alone. The problems in Germany, they are worse than yours. You see, they are worse than yours. You go to other places, they say France, you can't talk about it. Because people want to hold positions and not to yield. Whatever, I keep wondering, is it the case that when you are holding NDC position here, you can get some benefits from the US system or something? I don't know. In fact, in France, you can get something. Because the French government, they provide some funding for some social organizations like that. So some people will come together and go and register NDC brand there, and then they get that certificate that will give them benefits and something. And then their kingdom come, nobody can remove them. Then they will use it to be doing private businesses. You understand? So I think our elders, some of you even became chapter, those days NAC and so you were all there. You have served us even before I became General Secretary. So make yourself, constitute yourselves into council of elders. So the young ones that are coming, when they go wrong, you tell them, talk to them about your sacrifices that has brought the party this far. And with that, when there is any problem within the party, this council will meet immediately and say, look, this is the way we are doing it. Finito, this problem will be solved here. It's not going to go to headquarters in Accra. So the Council of Elders, if you haven't read the Constitution, you know, the clause is a little bit hidden. Because the Council of Elders provision is at the national level. But there's a clause that says that all these structures must be repeated at all levels of the party. Okay, so let us look at it. So I think that should be okay. Number 2, the gun. No, I've finished with internal party matters. I'm not going to talk about anything about internal party again, unless you ask me a question. The second one is Kufuor's Ghana now. I'm also aging. Akufuor's Ghana now. You see, it is it may be too early to be criticizing this people, but according to ABA Fuseni, he says there's something that will grow into hernia. He spotted the very day that a child is born. You can look at the something and realize that this child, when he grows, will have hernia. We can give another time to operate, but at least you can see signs of hernia coming. You heard about them making a lot of noise that there is so much money in Ghana. It's because of corruption that we are not getting the monies and so on. They made a lot of noise. When they came, they said they had discovered ghosts on their payrolls and so on and so on and so forth. Now the ghosts have left the payrolls and they now come and sit with government to negotiate for contracts. So ghosts are taking contracts. You heard about some oil deal just 2 weeks ago. Oil got contaminated. I'm told that once a while, because of some technical reasons, oil can get contaminated and burst. And when it happens, there are procedures of disposing of that oil at a lower price. But the procedures are clear. You have laws, National Petroleum Authority laws and other things that govern the disposal. You have legislation that governs award of contracts, national procurement laws that govern sale of government property and everything. But my uncle just got up and then they say oil contaminated. Then they sold the oil to somebody and asked him to now go and register a company to come and take the oil out. First of all, the oil was sold to a company called Asiedu on 19th of May. And the company that bought it was registered on the 1st of June. So it means that between 19th of May and 1st June, they were dealing with a ghost. That's why I'm saying that now the ghost will come and sit with government and then sign contracts. How can you award contract to a company that is yet to be registered? That's one thing. Registration is one thing. Even after you have registered the company, it is not all companies that deal with oil. You need to get licensing from National Petroleum Authority before you can even deal with the type of business that this company is dealing with. The MPA chief executive came out to say that they have not licensed that company to transact any business at all relating to petroleum. And then the registration certificate of the company came after it had entered into contract with government. So it is something we are dealing with, but they want to kill it. They want to kill the story because everything about it indicates that this is something they call somebody very fraudulently and say that, look, we have some deal here. Come on, let's do it, create and share. That's why you heard me saying that the ghost, if you are removing ghost names from payroll, and now the ghost will come and sit with government to negotiate for contracts and sign, which is better. And the amount involved is not a small thing, huge amount. And the same formula was what was used in the issue of the bonds. 2.2 billion United States dollars, one transaction. When you talk about bonds, it's just paper. Government wants money to do something. So take this paper, like promising, buy it. I give you 2 years, 3 years. When you return it, I will give you your money with some interest. That is all rudimentary means of explaining this bond issue. So if government wants money to undertake development, that's what they do. City councils. Yeah. City councils and other things, that's what they do to raise money. And in actual fact, when the bond is maturing, you issue another one and use some of the proceeds to retire the other one. So you have money to continue with your development. And at times, if your economy improves and the confidence in your economy improves so much with the fundamentals right, the interest rate at which you can issue a new bond may be lower than the bond you are holding. Then quickly, whether it has matured or not, you go and issue new ones at a lower interest rate. Then you use the proceeds to pay for the ones you are holding. So that if this is 20% and now people can buy your bond at 15%. It is better to sell more bonds and take their money to go and pay these 20% people to go, so that you stop paying 20%, and then from this time going, your interest will be 15%. It is done. Here too, my uncle just came, and he says NDC have issued some bond at 16.5% or so. And that was too expensive. It is maturing. You have an option of rolling it over so that you continue paying the 16%. He says it's too expensive. They are going to issue a new one. Then you go and issue a bond at 19% and claim that you are going to use the proceeds to pay for those, to retire the 16% one, so that from tomorrow going, you will be paying at 19%. You understand? And even the 19%, there are questions. Because the rate at which people want to buy your bond is related to some economic fundamentals like the interest rate, like what do you call it, inflation rate, and the future prospects, outlook of your economy, and so on and so forth. Since we entered the IMF program, our interest rate has been coming down more than 1.5 years now. It has been coming down gradually. So even our 16-point-something% was issued when the interest, the inflation rate was over 20%, and we got it at 16.something%. Now the inflation rate has come down to 13%, and you are issuing a bond at 19%. Are there no questions to answer?
Yes.
You see, there are more questions than answers. And then, before you issue a bond, you do prospectus. You project that this quarter, I am going to issue ABC bonds. This is the quantum within this quarter. 3 months, the ministry does that. The first quarter, we did those projections and indicated the amount of bonds that we will be issuing and so on. So our development partners, everybody knows about it. You didn't even wait for your turn to do second quarter projections. Then the first day in the second quarter, without doing any projections, you have sold 2.2 billion bonds. It is not backed by anything you have projected within the ministry. And before you sell, you issue prospectus saying that I want to sell so much bond, this is what I'm going to do with the proceeds and so on. You come to Parliament because it's an international transaction. Parliament approves, then you fix a date for a road show. Come to the cities of London, New York, do a road show, distribute pamphlets for everybody to know that Ghana is into this thing, is offering this thing, so that any investor can participate. You know what they did? They didn't issue prospectus at all. They used the prospectus that we used to issue the 16-point-something. They used that one. They didn't do any roadshow. In fact, they indicated to the international community that they are selling bonds when it was past 5 p.m. when every office had closed. Then the following morning they were selling. By close of day, they had sealed the deal. One person has bought 95% of the bonds. We asked Attorney General, what do you know about this? Government lawyer, he said he doesn't know anything.